It began not with a choice, but with a silence that grew too loud to ignore. For years, he had filled his days with motion, always doing, always pushing, rising early, driving far, returning late, his calendar bloated, his inbox full, his eyes always fixed on something out ahead, something unfinished, something urgent. He was good at staying busy, it made him feel necessary, but one morning in late autumn, while standing in the kitchen holding a cup of coffee that had long gone cold, he realized he could no longer hear his own thoughts. The noise outside had become the noise within, the buzz of headlines, the hum of traffic, the constant performance of being fine. It had hollowed him, and in that moment, something inside whispered, "Stop." So he did. He stepped away, not dramatically, not loudly. He simply began saying no more. Often, he stopped checking his phone before bed. He unsubscribed from emails. He stopped filling the quiet with podcasts and news and chatter. He began to listen instead to the wind, to the birds, to the gentle sounds of a house that no longer felt like a station but a home. Mornings became slow again. He lit candles even when it wasn't dark. He took long walks, not to reach anywhere, but to feel the ground beneath him. He noticed how the trees held nothing back in their letting go, how the river never apologized for flowing, how the clouds passed without effort, and slowly he began to remember things he had forgotten, like the sound of his own breath, like how tea tastes when you actually sit down to drink it, like how it feels to wash your face, not as a chore but as a return. He wrote again, not for work, but because the words wanted out. He found old journals and read them, not to measure progress, but to meet himself as he was, and forgive the trying. He cried, sometimes not from sadness, but because he felt safe enough to soften. He cooked more, often not perfectly, not beautifully, but with his hands and his care, and he always did the dishes slowly, like a ritual, like a thank you. Some days, he still felt restless, still wondered if he was wasting time, but then he would sit near the window and feel the light on his face, and know that he was exactly where he needed to be. People asked him what he was doing now, and he would smile and say as little as possible, but very deeply. He visited his mother more often, helped her trim the lavender in her small garden. He let himself be quiet around her, let the silence between them stretch and breathe without fixing it. He learned to rest in the company of others without needing to entertain or impress. He read poems aloud to no one in particular, and sometimes to the dog he had adopted from a shelter, a timid grey creature with eyes like storm clouds. They understood each other, both learning to trust again. He planted herbs on the windowsill, basil, mint, thyme. He found joy in watching them reach for the sun. He stopped measuring days by what he had accomplished and began asking instead, did I listen? Did I soften? Did I stay close to what matters? The year passed not quickly but fully. It was not a year of achievement but of awakening. The quiet wrapped around him like a warm shawl, not to hide but to hold. He still had responsibilities, still had bills and moments of worry, but they no longer swallowed him. They passed like waves over a rooted shore. He breathed and the breath no longer hurt. He smiled and it came from somewhere real. He looked in the mirror and met his own eyes. Without flinching, the man who once ran from himself had learned to walk beside himself, gently, patiently, lovingly, and when people asked him what changed, he would say nothing and everything. I just stopped running and started listening.